Welcome to Who's In, where we give you our ultimate starting 11 for the world's biggest football teams. We've covered the World Cup nations and now we're bringing you even more. This Who's In starting with the best starting 11 for players that have never won the Champions League. In goal, we could put England and Arsenal legend David Seaman. He won multiple titles and FA Cups with Arsenal, and despite his questionable ponytail choice, he often made the right choices when it came to saving Arsenal from defeat. However, our choice has to be the great, the opinionated, the fiery Italian Buffon. Buffon is arguably the greatest goalkeeper of all time. He's won every domestic title in Italy multiple times, and he won the World Cup with his national side Italy. He's known for his great size and his great leadership, but he was sent off in his last ever Champions League game for dissent towards the referee. This was definitely a sad way to end his 117th game. Buffon has appeared in 3 finals: the 2003 penalty shootout defeat by AC Milan at Old Trafford, the 3-1 defeat by Barcelona in Berlin in 2015, and the 4-1 loss to Real Madrid in Cardiff last season. At left back, we could go with one of the smartest footballers of all time and at one point the most expensive defender in English football, Graeme Le Saux. Le Saux began as a left winger, but he only showed his true talents and potential when he transitioned to becoming a left back. With Chelsea, he won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup and the Super Cup. However, it was during his time with Blackburn that he won the Premiership in 1995. However, Le Saux is not our pick, and we've gone with Giorgio Chiellini, a legend for Italy and Juventus, one of the most versatile defenders the world has ever seen. He's a World Cup winner, he's won everything with Juventus except, of course, the Champions League. Sadly, like Buffon, he came agonisingly close on numerous occasions. He was injured before the 2015 final against Barcelona, which Juventus lost, and he lost against Real Madrid in 2017. At centre-back, we could go with Arsenal's Sol Campbell. Campbell came agonisingly close to winning the Champions League final and even scoring the winning goal. But our pick goes to a World Cup winner. Laurent Blanc played for Champions League winning clubs such as Manchester United and Barcelona, but he was never in their team during their Champions League successes. On the international scene, the president claimed a World Cup on his home soil. 2 years later, he won Euro 2000 and added that to his selection of medals. The defender's 20-year club career yielded the 1997 Cup Winners' Cup with Barcelona, yet UEFA Champions League glory escaped him. The closest he came was a part of the United side that crashed out to Leverkusen in 2001-2002 semi-finals. Partnering Blanc, we could go with Englishman Tony Adams. Adams is one of the few one-club-only men. He went from Arsenal's youth team all the way to captaining Arsenal to multiple Premiership titles and retiring at the club. Adams was a born leader, an old-school defender, no-nonsense type player, but he could also smash the ball into the net with his head or his foot. He scored 32 goals whilst playing in over 500 games for Arsenal. However, our pick is a World Cup winner and a player with a win-at-all-cost mentality. Italy's Cannavaro was born in Naples. Cannavaro left his hometown team to join Parma in 1995, and 4 years later the defender picked up the UEFA Cup. It proved to be his only European trophy. In 2006 he won the Ballon d'Or after he won the World Cup. He became only the 3rd defender to win it in its history and the first for 10 years. However, he never progressed further than the last 4 in the UEFA Champions League. His Inter side lost to the eventual winners Milan in 2003. Another hard choice comes at right back. We could go with another Juventus player and a man I've actually interviewed. Equally comfortable on the left or right side of the defence, Gianluigi Zambrotta was an exceptional attacking fullback. In his prime, he was solid in defence and great in attack. He, of course, is another Italian World Cup winner, and his Juventus side lost the 2003 Champions League final, and he moved to Barcelona after they have already triumphed. However, our pick is a Frenchman. Zillion Ronaldo was one of the world's best defenders of his generation, and he's always assertive in attack and very solid in defence. His understanding of the game allowed him to play multiple positions with ease, and very few attacking players could boast having his level of skill. At 1998 World Cup and UEFA 2000, he was able to win victory with France, yet when it came to his own Champions League performance, he had heartache in the shootout against AC Milan. He was also on the bench for Frank Rijkaard's Barcelona game as they were beaten by Manchester United, who went on to win the tournament. At At the centre of our midfield, we could go with another World Cup winner and the only player on our list with an outside chance of actually eventually winning the Champions League one day. Germany and Arsenal's Özil. Özil left Real Madrid at the wrong time. Their recent run of Champions League victory started after he joined Arsenal for a club record fee. However, Özil already won the World Cup and he's one of the best passers the world has ever seen. However, it's doubtable whether he'll be able to assist Arsenal to ever winning the Champions League. So our pick is Michael Ballack. This team would need his power and commanding presence. Like Özil, he's a great passer, but he's also far stronger and physically gifted. Ballack once said, "It's hard to remember details of what happened when you lose such a big game. You just remember how much it hurt." Ballack lost 2 finals in the most unfortunate circumstances. We have to give a quick honourable mention to German midfielder Matthäus, who also never won the Champions League. Ballack could be supported by Robert Perez. Perez is not just a World Cup winner, he's an Arsenal invincible, he's also one of the most naturally gifted players of all time, and a super nice guy. He has 2 Premiership titles and 2 FA Cup wins, however he had to be substituted in Arsenal's final against Barcelona due to Lehmann getting sent off on the 18th minute. The referee from that game has said he admitted that he may have made a mistake with that decision. However, our pick is Pavel Nedved. He won the Ballon d'Or in 2003 ahead of Thierry Henry, so he must be a pretty decent player. He could play with both feet, he was able to cut in from the wing or play as an attacking midfielder. He had tenacity and skill and he was especially good at dribbling and had a powerful shot. He was nicknamed the Czech Fury or Blind Fury, and Sven-Göran Eriksson said he was an atypical midfielder, total and complete. Our 3-man midfield can end with a player that brings heart, passion and unpredictability. The Manchester United legend Eric Cantona. Cantona was a mysterious figure. He's a poet, a philosopher off the pitch and wonderfully selfless creative player on it. He revolutionised the football game in England by at one point having the highest assist per game ratio, yet he's known for his amazing goals and infamous incidents. As a player, his self-belief was unshakable. He played with flair, arrogance and a sense of pride and honour that seems to be standard when it comes to French players. Yet it was that pride that ended him getting banned with a karate kick to a fan. Yet despite his often short temper, Cantona went on to win 4 Premier League titles, but he had 0 success in Europe. However, he did become 3rd at the Ballon d'Or race. Yet I've chosen to go with another Frenchman who himself is invincible and arguably one of the greatest midfielders of all time. Patrick Vieira was powerful, tenacious and he managed to channel that French aggression and pride into a productive winning mentality. However, like everyone else on our list, he never managed to win the Champions League. Even when he left Arsenal for Juventus, it was Arsenal who would go on to knock Vieira's Juventus out of the Champions League and reach the final themselves. Vieira was a natural leader and he can be the man to captain our unconventional team. Sitting just behind the strikers, we have a choice between 2 technically brilliant players. Roberto Baggio is immortalised in football history due to his iconic ponytail and for being one of the best attacking midfielders the world has ever seen. However, our pick is another invincible, a man that truly made football look beautiful. Arsenal's Dennis Bergkamp could bring down a plane softly with his feet. He had exceptional ball control, vision and ability to make everything seem effortless. However, like every Arsenal player, he wasn't able to win the Champions League during his successful time there. Yet his last ever game for Arsenal was in the Champions League final that Arsenal lost 2-1 to Barcelona. Fun fact, Bergkamp's nickname was the non-flying Dutchman because he had a fear of flying. Because we're playing with 2 strikers, I will leave the other possible choices for our final spot, but we could have gone with Ruud van Nistelrooy. With 56 goals, he scored more goals than any other player that has not won the Champions League. However, this team deserves more than just tap-ins. The man to share the lead of our attack is the Super Swede, the one and the only Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic is one of the most naturally gifted footballers the world has ever seen, or at least the most self-confident. His catalogue of goal highlights would be the envy of any player. However, despite his often unstoppable presence in front of goal, he was never able to win the Champions League, and unlike our last player, he was never able to win the World Cup either. Zlatan has the honour of having the most appearances in the Champions League despite never winning it. With that said, he's still a legend. Before we get to our last player, remember to download the Onefootball app from our bio. The app can be tailored so you get all the latest news about your team and country, perfect for the upcoming World Cup. Our last pick is one of the hardest. Hernan Crespo played for AC Milan, Inter Milan and Chelsea, whom have collectively won the Champions League 11 times. Or there's Gabriel Batistuta, who played for Roma, Inter and Fiorentina, but only managed to get out of the group stages despite him being one of Argentina's most prolific scorers. Despite these two great players in their own right being on our list, we have to go with Brazilian Ronaldo. He scored 62 goals for his country and 352 for club level. He played for Barca, Inter Milan, Real Madrid and AC Milan, and he won the Ballon d'Or and World Cup twice. Ronaldo is regarded as one of the best players of all time, despite overcoming a trauma from his health issues before the World Cup final in 1998. Despite all of that, he never managed to win the Champions League. So that's our list, but we want to know yours. Comment who you'd pick and which team do you think would win out of our starting 11 versus our subs that we didn't choose. Make sure you check out the rest of our World Cup and Who's In videos. With that said, download the Onefootball app. Other than that, Alan, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Peace.